Alright, welcome to my channel. My name's Captain Crush. I'm here to talk about the NBA 4-game slate today. That's right, 4 little games. Hopefully we can find some W's and avoid those L's. If you're new to my channel, go ahead, smash the like, hit the subscribe. I promise you won't regret it. My goal here is to teach you how to have a fundamental, solid process for daily fantasy sports. On top of that, I try to entertain you as best as I can because life is too short, and if you're not being entertained, then what is the point of all of this? So what you'll have with Captain Crush is the information, the process building, and on top of that, boy, you're gonna make a little laugh or two. Maybe. I'm not just gonna be here and be some little talking head that just has a monotone voice and is boring as a sermon in church from a Catholic priest. No hate on the Catholics, but let's be real, that stuff can be boring. I swear, some of these guys, they're so boring, I'd rather watch paint dry, okay? But that ain't me. I'm here, and here we go. Without further ado, let's break it down. So right out of the gate, you already know we got anchors and darts, but first, let's talk about anchor number 1, the big man, Bam Adebayo. They took his fantasy score off the board. It was 42.5. I got him projected for a crispy, a solid, a magnificent 48.5. Jimmy Butler, get him out of here. He's out of the court. He's not stepping foot in Atlanta today. But Bam Adebayo, he's gonna be there. So without his fantasy score, what are we left with, Cap? Well, we got option. We got his point. We got his points plus rebound. We got his PRA. We got all the 3. Any of these 3 would be good. It's dealer's choice. You get to decide, my friend. But without the fantasy score, the one I would lean on was gonna be points, rebounds, or points. Okay, I have them split, both split. I was able to get his fantasy score in early because I was cheeky and I was on top of the PrizePicks board before they could pull him off. All right, so got his fantasy at 42.5. If it comes back and it's 43, you take it. Okay, as long as it's between 42 and 44, I'll tell you to take more. If it doesn't come back, you can take one of these 2, the points and the points rebounds. That would be anchor number 1. Now I'm gonna flash right over here to my handy dandy notepad right quick, and for my loyal YouTube faithful, you already know the notepad hits. It always hits. Bam, 1.29 fantasy points per minute, 29% usage rate for a big man. That's elite. And he has no Butler, and it's a pace up spot. Okay, we'll talk about number 2 later, but first, Reflection Saturday. Yesterday, these were the 3 anchors for my YouTube video: Kuzma, Maxey, Hayward. Well, everybody knows that Kuzma sold the bag. He didn't show up. He just got whatever. I don't know what his problem was. He probably knew Captain Crush was high on him, and he sold. So I went 5 of 6 in my main, and then I had a bunch of 4 of 6s. And then Tyrese soared over, Kuzma sold, and Gordon Hayward soared over. Okay, this was yesterday's YouTube video anchor. Today, as you can see, it's Bam Adebayo and Draymond Green. We're going to talk about Draymond Green next, okay? I like his fantasy score. Now, his rebounds and assists could also be in play. Maybe just his assists. Even this cheeky combo prop with Darius Garland and Draymond Green would be in play if you're stuck in Alabama or some other podunk state like some of you are. Hey, my state's podunk too. But the point is, the fantasy score, the other day they had it at 25. I thought it would have been a free square, but then they ruled him out. So today he steps in. He's on the court. It's a 226 point total. It should be a decent game. Neither one of these teams are doing well against the 5 or the 4. So hopefully Draymond comes in, he gets business done, and he covers. If you don't want to go with Draymond, I totally understand. You can attack the 5 spot, which is going to be Kevon Looney, and take his 22.5 fantasy score. Okay, now flashback over to the notepad. Draymond Green, 1.14 fantasy points per minute. So we already know if he plays 30 minutes, he's going to go over. That's not an exact science because this is just an average, but that should be the scenario, okay? He has a 17% usage rate, and again, it's going to be a pace up spot for him. So I'm trying to narrow it down. But Draymond Green, I got him projected in my models for 30 fantasy points, fam. 30. So that was a big discrepancy for me from 2.5. It's usually between 2 one way and 2 the other way, which is the margin of error. So I will go ahead and put my chips in, all the cheddar on Draymond Green. And like I said, it's not fun. It's not comfortable. I hate this man. Not in a personal sense, but as far as taking him on PrizePicks because he sells more often than he covers. I don't have banned lists. I don't have recency bias. I got nothing. When Kuzma's on the board again next game, if he's in a smash spot, guess what? I'll do it again. That's just how I am. Call me crazy, but that's just the way you gotta be, brother. If you're trying to get W's, remember the whole thing. We want W's and we want to push aside the L's, but some days we're gonna take L's. That's the nature of the beast, as Dad would say. okay? So if these two young men are our anchors, what can we have for darts? Well, I'm glad you asked, Kyle. We got a lot of things to do today. I want to say this real quick. I said this in the last video and it cashed. Guards do well against the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not sure what it is, but it seems to be a little bit of a trend. So with that in mind, we want to wait to see any role players from Orlando getting added to the board. You could take a shot on Mr. Fultz. I don't love it at all, but he is the main point guard over there, so maybe that trend continues and he goes off against the Bucks. But come on, do you really want to put coin on Markel Fultz? Markel, I know it's not Markel, but whatever. If you want to, you can. I'm waiting to see what else they add. Maybe some point props that are good for some people. If I was going to take Markel Fultz, the best prop that he would have would be his points. I'm not in love with it, but that would be that, okay? The top favorite plays for darts would probably be Giannis at 30.5 points. I wish it was at 29.5, which it is 29.5 earlier, but it's also still 29.5 on Sleeper. If you're not on Sleeper or Chalkboard, just use promo code CRUSH and you'll be able to get the Giannis value line, okay? There you go. And they'll match your deposit to boot. So that's a dart candidate. Dennis Schroeder, Jason Tatum, Scotty Barnes, my boy Clint Capella. When they put Onyeka Okongwu in the mix, he'd be considered for a dart. I'm probably going to have some shots on Curry's points. Yeah. Probably have on that. But folks, I can't go over too much today. I got a lot to do. Here, listen to this. It's Saturday. I got errands to run, but I want to show you guys something. I'm going to toot my own horn for 1 minute. All right. So yesterday, this was my main NBA Flex Friday list, okay? Gordon Hayward, fantasy, cash. Kuzma, sold. Mark Williams, both of those cash. Lauri Markkanen, cash. John Collins, cash. Ant Edwards, cash. Zubac, hook. Maxey, cash. Shai, cash. That's literally 10 and 2, okay? 10 props on there, 2 missed. Then I did a live stream right over here where I go to live streams. I do this. And then we had 100 people. 100 people in my Discord live stream yesterday. That was absolutely epic. For those of you that are in the Cord, thank you so much for coming out to those live streams. It's where you get to interact with yours truly. Ask me questions, check my model. We build slips together. We discuss all that. And sometimes, a lot of the times, I talk about plays that aren't even on my main list that I give out. I give other plays in the live stream that I also like because I always say this, you're always going to feel better about going with your own reads. So I try to answer your questions and steer you to where you want to be, okay? My reads are mine. You can tail, you can fade, but it's always good for you to have your own reads. And that's why it's critical that I try to teach you guys the process, okay? I'm not just the guy that just wants to give you slips and picks. My goal is to give you a solid process and to help you out in your journey, okay? Everybody loves this hobby, myself included, so why not be good at it? Life's too short to suck at daily fantasy sports. I should put that on a business card. The last person that I'm going to talk about, I guess, is Jalen Suggs. Listen, the guy had like 6 blocks and steals in the first quarter last game and he soared over, okay? It's unheard of. Now, if you want to take Jalen Suggs fantasy, go ahead and take more on Jalen Suggs fantasy. It's not something that I like. My model has him going for 30. I mean, 30? Is it 30 or 25? Either 25 or 30. I know that's a big discrepancy, but whatever. I like it. I'm not gonna go look right now. But if you don't want to take his fantasy, you can take his points. It was at 11 when I posted it. They bumped it to 11.5. It opened at 10.5. A lot of people are on here because of the game he had last time, but also they're attacking the Milwaukee matchup. So if you think he can get 3 to 5 blocks and steals again, he's gonna cash this. That's up to you to decide. That's very rare to predict. Someone in my Cord yesterday, I won't mention names, but can you say cucumber? He's trying to tell me that Gobert blocks over 1.5 was a lock. He says it's a lock. He kept saying, Cap, it's a free square, it's a lock. Guess what? I don't even think Gobert had 1 block. The point is this. There's no such thing as free squares. There's no such thing as locks. There's no such thing as it's free. All that stuff, take it, toss it, get it out of your head. It's for losers, fish, and garbage promoters, okay? I deal with facts, reality, and stability, okay? I ain't that guy. I'm not trying to do any of that stuff. So, with that in mind, it is Saturday. Go light. For my Discord members, I'm going to have my NFL projections fully done. My game stacks, my write-ups, it'll all be done late tonight. It'll be dropped before that Sunday morning kickoff. You love to see it. NFL tomorrow, 10 crispy games. And you know we're going to have that live stream in the Court today, probably around 2:30 or 3 Central. So if you like me, you want Captain Crush, you want to get in that live stream, go to CaptainCrush.net. It's $25 a month for the gold. Silver just gets you some plays. It doesn't get you the Discord. The gold gets you the Discord. You can pay by the month, or you can get the 6-month package, which is $25 off. So $125 for 6 months or $25 for gold. The reason I charge is not just for the list, because that's whatever. It's going to be 55 to 56% hit rate, but I charge for teaching you the live streams, answering Q's and A's, and doing those live streams, okay? Yesterday's was like an hour and a half. I let you guys ask me whatever. I'm patient, and I try to help you guys the best I can. On top of that, you get access to all my community members and plays and all that stuff. We have a pretty decent group, most of them. Some of them are 8 balls, but you know what? What can you do about that? It comes with the territory. My website is currently in development, but hopefully it's done by Christmas, and that's my Christmas present to me and everyone else. Now, with that, I'm going to tell you guys this. Nothing is guaranteed in fantasy sports or gambling, okay? Nothing is guaranteed, but I'm going to give you 2 to 3 football plays that could be a guarantee if things go the way I think, okay? You like that segue? You thought I was going to say something else? Here's the deal. Chris Boswell, more 7.5 fantasy score. Green Bay versus the Steelers. I think that's going to be a lot of field goals. He's been dominating. The dude has the boot from heaven. So you can go ahead and play his fantasy score. It's absolutely in play, and my model projection has him soaring over this, okay? Next, it's going to be Gus Edwards. Now, I don't love the matchup. The matchup is terrible. Cleveland has a solid front 4. Myles Garrett, they absolutely dominate the run, but that's not why we would be playing this. We're not playing this for Gus Edwards to get a lot of rushing yards on the ground. We're playing this to get first and goal. They hand it to Gus the Bus. And what does Gus do? He gets points. He gets in the goal line red zone touchdowns. He gets them. He had 3. He had 2. All he needs is 1 to cash this. If he gets 1 touchdown tomorrow, that's 6 points. He will get the other 15 yards to cash this proposition. So these 2 are minted. I like them a lot, okay? And then the other one I wanted to talk about is Alvin Kamara's fantasy score. He sold everyone last week. We got a deflated line this week versus the Vikings. He's involved in the passing game. He is the passing game. Receiving yards, he gets a touchdown. He should cover this, okay? This is another one that I like. I was going to make a separate NFL video, but I just wanted to include these for my loyal YouTube guys. I appreciate you guys watching this. If you're happy that I concluded a couple NFL games, smash that like button, bro. What are you waiting for? It helps the algorithm get it out to more people so I can create more soldiers and get people better at fantasy sports. You know what I'm saying? And of course they don't have it yet, but Joe Burrow, if they put a Joe Burrow fantasy score up there, buddy, you take it, okay? That Houston-Cincinnati game should be fire. So with that, I'm going to close this puppy down. I appreciate each and every one of you. DJ Khaled voice right there. Here's the salute. Good luck in all your contests, and as always, let's crush.